Alright, welcome to day 10 of the Cobra Lash and probably the final day. Started out by getting our chess piece that we purchased sniped up for about 20 minutes, and I eventually thought I'll have a bit of a fun minute with this guy. Invited him in. Thought I'd trade him an orb of regret just to let him know that he's been a fucking idiot. Really? Excuse my language, but you know when you're just sick of being pinged constantly by people trying to snipe an item and you just had enough, yeah. Anyway, moving on, we got Uber Elder onto our Atlas, and Uber Elder was the process of doing the Guardians again, so I'll skip that because I've shown you the Guardians. However, this time, hand on heart, they were actually deathless because they didn't have to be Val-corrupted ridiculous maps, and once you've rolled like just okay maps, yeah, the build handled it pretty damn well. So I'll kind of skip through the whole Guardian process and all that because we've seen that before and it's nothing really new. Now we will actually head on to the Uber Elder now that it's all been done, because that's what we're here for. It gives me an opportunity to really talk about the build, how I've enjoyed it. Is it good? Is it bad? Do I recommend it? Stuff like that. So I'm going to spoiler this. It's not deathless, but to be honest, the reason I'm telling you this is because it doesn't really matter if it's deathless or not, because you can tell from a video if the build has deathless potential or not. Now, I will tell you this build has deathless potential. When you went into the zone, I felt very, very comfortable with my damage. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's a bit sketchy. Now, bear in mind, this is my first Uber Elder in 3 months or something like that, and it is my first ever poison build, so I'm not really sure how long I should be shooting each one for it to ramp up. I'm not really sure how this Cobra Lash plays in an Uber Elder fight, and you know, it handled it pretty damn well. I think if I was to rerun this, I would go ahead and use Withering Step a little bit more defensively, so I would Withering Step, run around as the poison ticks down, and that way it would feel a bit more defensive. I didn't really utilise Withering Step at all, which is like our thing that gives us a load of dodge, and I just went in for the DPS because when I'm doing a brand new build and a brand new playstyle, I'm willing to forgo the whole deathless thing just to check, because occasionally what can end up happening is you end up trying to play it so clean and deathless that you end up not dealing the right amount of damage and it's not a good showcase. So I'd rather go in there for the deeps. We're on softcore, like who really cares? And yeah, I got flicked. Why? Because I'm kind of forgetting that I'm ranged Cobra Lash with Prolif, and I should be sat way at the back Prolifing those down and then Withering Stepping when I'm waiting for ads to spawn. That death there is pretty avoidable, and it's also kind of RNG based that the flick actually gets you. So yeah, the damage is feeling really nice though. I decided to not go with GMP. I wasn't sure how it was going to handle like Shaper, like ads like this, but the Prolif is really, really good, and that's definitely the reason I'd recommend it over the Claw version. Is it just, the playstyle is just so much more comfortable, especially for Blighted maps, which I've got some footage for as well. So as you can see, even without really min-max gear at all, it's really crushing it. And you've got to remember as well that this build has, well, you've seen all the progress, pretty much self-found gear or self-made gear that's been used with like one fossil. Like the gear I'm wearing is just not ideal at all. There's a lot of stuff you could do to make this build stronger, and it is a straight beginner build leveled with nothing. Played the whole of the Atlas with it, and I can't really fault the build. Let me just move my microphone. I can't really fault the build as a beginner build because it's done everything it's asked. Here, that's where I died, because I actually thought Uber Elder was dead and he was ticking down to poison, but he wasn't. But you can see as I died, he died. I kind of just misread the situation with the poison. But, you know, 2 deaths, kind of traded at the end in typical Gears of War fashion. But, you know, I actually found it a very, very comfortable fight. I wasn't actually rewarded with anything, but to be honest, based off that gameplay, I didn't really deserve anything. But I think I wouldn't recommend the build as this is a build you have to play, like it's that broken you have to play it. But it is a fun playstyle, and if you were starting the league with it, I'm sure absolutely it will be fine. I mean, that's exactly what I did. Started the league with it, it'll be absolutely fine. And it's an interesting playstyle. Now, maybe if you've played loads of poison builds, it's really not for you. Maybe you've played a lot of Essence Drain. It's probably not the build for you because, to be honest, it's very similar. You tick down, you deal damage, and you kind of... I guess it's a little bit different because you pop Plague Bearer. Plague Bearer makes the build way more enjoyable. And what Plague Bearer is you shoot out Cobra Lash, it charges it up to 1,000,000, and then you press it and it releases basically like an RF debuff or around you, and it basically is like Chaos RF that sort of destroys everything. So we have got a 2120 Herald of Agony in there, which is worth 1.5 exalts. This is typically something I do, and I thought I'd just show you. Normally, once I'm kind of done with a character, I just take off all the 2020 gems and I just val them. If they hit, you often make 60C, 1.5 exalts, and then you can just sell them and it helps fund the next build. You can sell your gear off. However, I'm not too sure if I'm going to sell the gear off on this character. I think I might keep this character laying about because I kind of want to still fill out my Atlas and delve a little bit more and get that going before I go on to another character. So we're not quite finished with this character, but we are nearing up, and we do get a 21-20 fortify there, which actually isn't worth anything at all. We've got a couple Cobra Lashes here leveling, and spoiler, absolutely nothing happens to these, which was a shame. And a 2021 is worth like 2C. So this build is cheap because everyone and their mother has tried it, and yeah, everyone has tried corrupting it. So I do have a 2120 Cobra Lash now and a 2120 Herald of Agony. That's probably like 2 exalts. I've got a Krakic Chimeral, that's like 100C. I've got a couple of oils that are 70C. I've got that chest piece, which is 5 exalts, and my gear. If I was to wing everything off and sell it from start to finish, killing Uber Elder, I've probably got about 10 exalts. Maybe 8 exalts if we're being conservative, because I really don't know how good my gear is, to be honest. Don't know how much it would sell for. But it's been a pretty enjoyable process, and I thought I would not end the progress on this, but sort of wrap it up with a Blight map, and I'll show you what the new Blight map rewards look like. This is my first time using a anointment, and I went for the cheaper tower because I didn't want to brick it. I also decided to invite Jamie into this map just to, I don't know, just play. So the idea here was I was just kind of looking around about what sort of oils do what. There is a Reddit section, but I kind of just like to mess about with it myself rather than fact check everything. So we ended up going for cheaper tower building with our oils, and what this basically allows you to do is, as you can see, you can start off right from the get-go. You're able to get out your large towers, which just makes everything a lot smoother. If you really want to go cheap on your blighted maps, you can put clear oils in, and clear oils slow enemy monsters, I think, by 30 or 40%. So that's actually pretty damn helpful, having a lot slower monsters, because when they walk to the pump like a boss, if it's going 30+% slower, you're going to have a much easier time DPSing it down, and that's basically helping the whole tower defense thing, right? So this build works really well in the league mechanic. It hasn't got crazy single target DPS, so you do have to keep an eye out for the boss. But if you upgrade your rings to have like meteor damage, you get the cheaper tower building things with the oils, which cost literally nothing. You'll probably have like, you know, a good amount of them hoarded up by now. Yeah, you can pretty much crush every map. Now, it still is prone to one-shot. This is a Mathel build. It's not anything crazy. defensively, but I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, I think the build's been very, very fun, and the process has been nice. I do hope you have enjoyed the process of me documenting it. I've not tried this before. It does take a fair bit of effort to do this, so if you do want to support it and you have enjoyed it, there are always ways to do that in the description. You can just click the like button and comment for the algorithm, so it puts me back in the YouTube algorithm. But do note, this channel it's not like a monetized channel, so all this is just like, yeah, it's just me doing this for my own enjoyment and yours. If you want to support me, buy a coffee, freaking whatever you want to do. September, apparently there's 50% off subs. You know, there's all stuff you can do. That's great, but honestly, it's just the comments and the feedback that keeps me going. So as long as there's comments and feedback, I'm still going to be making videos. So it's up to you if you want to support me further. If not, I'm still going to be making the videos. So that's kind of the Cobra Lash if I could actually speak, the Cobra Lash progress video. It's quite a tongue twister in the morning. I'm filming this at like 7 in the morning. I've literally had the most boring breakfast humanly possible. I went down, I had 2 glasses of water and a bowl of granola. You know, the mental fortitude to not kill myself was actually overwhelming this morning. So anyway, the rewards, as you can see, are very, very buffed up. You do get a large amount of stuff to open in comparison to previous Blighted maps, so I do recommend getting the Blighted maps and playing the game now, because Blighted maps are actually pretty fun. I'm not going to say they're crazy worthwhile, but they're definitely worthwhile, if you get my drift. So thank you all for watching the progress. There may be one more final video on Cobra Lash, which might just be some random delving or boss kills or something. Maybe I get lucky or something like that, and then maybe it's a new character, or maybe something different. I don't know. Thanks for tuning in. This was episode 10. Have a wonderful day. I shall catch you guys in the next chapter.